Welcome to the BumbleKast. I'm your host, Ian Flynn, the Bumble King, and joining me as always is my Bumble co-host, Kyle, JCRB Krause.
Hello, we're back for another week of BumbleKasting. It just keep doing it. We got a lot of questions. So yeah, how are you doing, Ian?
I'm doing all right. We're going to have even more questions this Friday, if you're listening on the Monday. July 28th is the end of the month. No, July 29th is the last Saturday of the month. That's when we're doing BumbleKast Live. So
yes,
bring your questions. All you generous folks, bring your super chats, and we will see you then. But for now, we have to get through our questions that come from our patrons over at patreon.com/BumbleKast, Ko-fi.com/BumbleKast, and our YouTube members.
Yes. By the way, that is Saturday, not Friday. Just clarifying.
Don't listen to what I say. Listen to what I said. There you go.
Yes.
No confusion there.
Exactly.
Clear as mud.
Exactly. Yes. Always listen to Ian. He's always correct. Here's a question from Andrew D. I must admit, I'm not well enough informed on the subject, and this might be a difficult question to answer. As such, I wouldn't be surprised if you decided to pass on it. This question is genuine and has no offensive intentions. With that being said, I was thinking about how Eggman's robotic doppelgangers, such as the Metal, Mecha, and I guess Doll series, identify as their respective doppelgangers. Would that make their identities trans in a sense, as they identify as something else, or do they not actually identify as their doppelgangers, but instead as a perfected or better/different version? Again, I'm not well enough informed on the subject, but I thought it was really fascinating to think about from this perspective.
I am also not comfortable speaking with any kind of authority on the subject of trans identity. Sonic stuff, sure. Actual important real life stuff, not so much. For the mechas and the metals and the dolls, they generally do not identify as the characters they're based off of. They are just robots. And the degree of personality they have is arguable for many of them.
Mm-hmm.
Metal Sonic is a special case, and his personal aspirations to become the one true Sonic, we've covered that a lot on the show. I take it as more of an esoteric desire rather than a literal thought that he is, actually Sonic, because, Sonic's right there. He can tell that he is not Sonic because Sonic is right there. It's more of a arguably spiritual thing. But that is not redefining one's personal identity through the context of their physicality and how society casts that in the greater community. So in that context, I'm going to say no. But those who are trans and are, far more experienced with their own personal journeys, if I'm off base, please comment below, educate me, because I would be fascinated to find out, if I'm right, if I'm wrong, what your opinion is on it. Go for it.
Alrighty. Here's a question from Batman69LOL. What if Surge and Kit are sucked onto Sakaar, the trash dump gladiator planet from Thor Ragnarok? Do you think they would enjoy their new lifestyle of constant battle in the gladiatorial arena? Would they become beloved champions? Would they try to escape? Tell us, Ian.
Oh, my goodness. A place where Surge can just unleash and beat up fools and be praised for it? Are you kidding? She would be queen of Sakaar. She would revel in it.
This is all she ever wanted.
Kit would be along for the ride. He's happy, she's happy. And, of course, it wouldn't last. Eventually, they would be pit against each other. Kit would feel like she was ignoring him and moving away, and there would be resentment. There would eventually come a time where they were turned against each other because they're not healthy people. And they can be manipulated fairly easily. But then, Surge turns on Kit. Kit ultimately folds because he can't bring himself to stand up to Surge. Explains why. And then once she realizes that they've been played, then they go and they take out everybody else. And once again, Queen Surge of Sakaar.
She wants to be the top of the heap. The trash heap. She wants to truly be the ultimate trash. She is the trash queen. Yes. As she should be. Casey Quartz has a question. If it were up to you to dive deeper into Echidna lore, would you further explore the Knuckles clan, cementing Knuckles' identity as the last Echidna? Or would you try and write something similar to what Sonic Chronicles did and introduce a rivaling Echidna clan, and have Knuckles conflicting with his loyalty to his friends or the comfort of having more Echidnas like him? How would you write either scenario? Which would you prefer?
That is a tricky one. Because on the one hand, Knuckles' status as the last Echidna is largely meaningless. There are all sorts of animal creatures around the world, so him being just an Echidna doesn't make that particularly special. He's just a dude. You know, it doesn't give him any particular extra importance to the narrative, because anyone can guard that rock when you get down to it. And his cultural link is nigh non-existent. He knows about the Knuckles clan. We can assume that that's part of his heritage, but he doesn't identify with it. He didn't even know about it until Sonic Adventure. So being the last Echidna doesn't do anything for him, and it doesn't really hold water in terms of his loneliness because he has a supportive network of friends now. Sure, that knowledge of being the last Echidna is something that rides on his mind, but he has that network. He's not alone anymore. He is part of the group, and he knows that. So there is some desire there to, you know, not be hampered with this title that ultimately does nothing for the narrative anymore. It doesn't drive his character. It doesn't do anything anymore. But if you were to just go whole hog and say, yep, here's a bunch of Echidnas, boom, that feels like too hard of a course correction. It takes what was a outdated but still somewhat unique aspect to him and completely throw it out. So I feel like the fine line to walk that would be to find a group of Echidnas that has been lost to time somehow or another, and Knuckles makes the connection there so that they are still fairly rare. There's still something special, but that would give him something to protect. You know, it's not, you know, here is a whole civilization. Here's maybe like a tribe, a sample left. And that's his connection. That's what he has to protect. That's what's important to him. That has stakes, and that has room for him to interact. Like, is this tribe one of Pachacamac's enemies from long before? Are they completely unrelated? We don't know. There's a ton of avenues to go there once you open that door. But I wouldn't want to go the Sonic Chronicles route where they are so asynchronous with everything else. Saying that the Nocturnus tribe were even remotely comparable enemies to the Knuckles clan never gelled with me. They have teleportation tech, they have, you know, energy weapons, they have mechanical suits, they have sentient robot enforcers, and the Knuckles tribe had spears. They should have been steamrolled within 15 minutes. It's a 7-hour war all over again. So
yeah, but they were pointy, though. They were pointy spears.
I will grant you that. They absolutely were. So there's also possibly an element to play with, you know, time. Maybe there is some kind of time travel door, some kind of spiritual gate with enduring spirits, because, I mean, Tikal kind of opened that door for us. Maybe there is a way to have our cake and eat it too. There's a lot of ways one could approach it, and I don't know which one in particular I would be happiest with. That is such a big shift for Knuckles and his role in the story, in the greater narrative, that I would actually kind of prefer to take that to the lore group and say, what is the consensus? What do we as a greater committee think is the best way to go with it? Because I'm kind of spoiled for choice.
Yeah. All right. Here's a question from Crab. Oh no, Ian. Sega has a gun to your head and is forcing you to bring back Tails Doll in IDW. How do you do it? Do you incorporate some of the Eldritch/Nightmare controlling powers the fanon has given it over the years? How do you do it?
Sega don't need a gun.
I know.
If anyone, I'm the one banging on the door.
I was going to say, like, why in this scenario is, like, your life being threatened? Why in all these scenarios
it's forcing you to do the thing that you want to do? Okay.
Why in every scenario is your life being threatened? I guess because it's funnier, but it's
true. If we're talking classic, I would like to kind of stay where we are as of Seasons of Chaos, where he's a little creepy.
Mm-hmm.
He's a little different, but keep it kind of still cutesy and a gag. If we were to come back in modern, maybe pitch the idea of kind of retreading what we did with Archie Sonic and having him be a vehicle for hidden Eldritch horror, because I don't know, that's still funny to me.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
I don't know if Sega would be cool with that. We'll cross that bridge when we come to it. But I wouldn't want to overplay the joke, because that's the thing, is that once you go whole hog with it, once that little stuffy sprouts tentacles and teeth, you've played your hand. That's the punchline. Everyone knows it's coming the next time he shows up.
Yeah.
So then it becomes a trick of, it's kind of like winding the Jack in the Box. And when is he going to turn into the monster? When's he going to do the horrible thing? When's it going to happen? Just the tension. And that's infinitely harder. But that's a problem for potential future Ian.
Well, I guess as long as he doesn't become Monokuma, we're okay. Oof. Oof. Yeah, all right. Here's a question from Curly Quills. Hi, long-time listener, first-time questioner. I must know, is Silver's hairstyle, quill style, a trend of the future? Is this a common look seen on every hip kid, or is Silver a bit out there, and it's as strange as it is now? Or does the poor guy try to comb it down every day, and it just pops right back up? Is it the natural evolution of the mullet? What do you think? Well, I mean, depending on who you ask, it looks like a certain leaf. So
no.
But
I much prefer that this is future mullet.
I mean, yeah.
Business in the front, party in the back. Our sample size of the future denizens is limited to Silver. We have not seen anyone else of that era officially. So it's really hard to say. I think it's just meant to be he's a funky spined hedgehog. But that's that's a fun question. I don't know.
Yeah, I think it would be funnier if it's like just him. 'Cause I don't know, that's just funny to me.
I mean, you grew up in a burning apocalyptic hellscape and tried to find a barber.
Yeah. Like, his hair's just gonna grow all silly because he's just kind of, there's nothing there in the future. It's just, everything's just terrible. So
he's using his TK powers to navigate a pair of scissors with this one broken piece of mirror, doing the best he can.
There are no mirrors in the future. Silver's never seen himself. Scary. Here's a question from Endebend. Fang's a bounty hunter by trade, but what about Bean and Bark? They don't really strike me as bounty hunters themselves, so I'm wondering what it is you imagine the two usually do when they aren't being bossed around by Fang. Are they just general goofy thugs, like Rough and Tumble? Bark doesn't seem the type to do anything particularly bad on its own, but Bean, on the other hand...
Sega's feedback specifically on Bark is that he isn't really a bad guy. And we kind of touched upon that in Season of Chaos, where Amy points out that he's not a bad guy. He just hangs out with bad people. And in my mind, he likes to seek out challenges, and he isn't really bothered how he goes about finding them. Getting into trouble kind of brings him the engagement that he wants. And he's good buddies with Bean, and Bean is trouble personified. So the two get along just fine. Bean, I imagine, is just doing it for the lulz. He's not a bad guy himself. It's just he doesn't really care either, and just kind of an agent of chaos. If he can amuse himself, he's fine. And that just happens to coincide with Fang, who can kind of bring them into focus a little bit. I don't know. Maybe we'll get to play with that sometime in the future.
Fang kind of gives them direction, makes them,
or tries to.
Well, you know what I mean. Kind of makes them do things. So it's just a prank, bro. I blew that. Listen, I blew up your car, but it's just a prank, bro. Good old Bean. Here's a question from Exadel. Dr. Starline's isekai adventures continue. This time, he awakens from his previous transdimensional venture to find himself on an underground rail tram with a loudspeaker welcoming him to the Black Mesa Research Facility, and security hastily ushering him to get ready as he's late for his day in the test chamber. How does Dr. Starline cope with the following resonance cascade? The invasion of the aliens of Zen, and does he survive long enough to get Isekai to his next destination by the G-Man?
The right platypus in the wrong place can make all the difference in the world.
Oh, no.
Here's the thing. With Starline's experience with the Warp Topaz, he would look at the configuration for the resonance cascade and go, no, if I insert the sample, it's going to overload. Have you not done any of your homework?
Yeah, I was going to say.
No, I'm coming up there and showing you how to do this correctly. And he ends up staving off the invasion. The 7-hour war never happens because he's smarter than everyone else at Black Mesa.
Yeah. Something else has to happen.
Like within an hour, he's running the place and is like, oh, your portal technology is rudimentary. Let me show you how to do it properly. And he's like leading the invasion of Zen. The Combine are like, who is this guy?
He's smarter than Gordon. He's not smarter than Gordon. He just actually speaks. Actually, he won't shut up. That's the problem. Gordon's mute. He doesn't speak. He doesn't say a thing. So the fact that he's smarter doesn't matter if he's not telling them what's wrong.
Now I'm tempted to redub all of Freeman's mind as Starline.
Oh no, that'll take years. Oh no. How does Starline react to Cave Johnson?
Take your lemons and burn your house down with the lemons. Finally, someone I can get behind. You mean he's already dead? No.
We must bring him back. Oh, good stuff. Good stuff. That's funny. That's funny right there. Well, he doesn't die at the end of this one, or does he?
No, he successfully routes the Combine and is about to take it over for himself when the G-Man steps in and says, excellent work. Now it's time for your next departure. And just ushers him off into the next Isekai adventure.
Oh, okay.
No, I was successful for once.
Damn you, G-Man. All right, here's a question from Fang. McDonald's has too many Grimace shakes and his birthday is over. So McDonald's gives every leftover shake to Medburger. How does the BumbleKast react to the shake? What kind of chaos happens to Hedgehog Village? This absolutely would be something that Boom would do. They wouldn't call it McDonald's, but they would definitely have the purple shakes that make people explode. Yeah.
So it shows up, and everyone's looking at the standee of, we'll call him Flincher instead of Grimace.
Okay.
And they're like, I don't know about this. It doesn't look quite right. And Sonic's like, it's a milkshake. It's not going to hurt you. Watch. Slurp. Thud. He's on the ground. So Amy and Tails are freaked out. They take as many samples as they can. They're taking it back to the lab. They're going to study this. They need to figure out what this monstrosity is. Styx doesn't trust it at all. Like, she's trying to communicate with it. She's talking into the straw, seeing if she can make first contact. And Knuckles is sipping away at it going, I don't see what the big deal is. And that's the B plot. He's just in the background downing shakes because nobody else will touch him.
Mm-hmm.
Eggman gets wind of some new horrible toxin that was able to take out Sonic, so he's invading Madburger to find this new power source for his great flincher bot. Tails and Amy have to jump in there to fight him off. Styx, of course, is going to join in too, pleading with the Grimace Shake to turn against Eggman. He won't appreciate you like I do. Turn against evil. Give your evilness to us. And meanwhile, Knuckles has just been kind of in the background going, kind of a funny aftertaste. Until finally, the battle reaches its fever pitch. The Grimace Shake-fueled mecha is nigh unstoppable. And Purple Knuckles just kind of descends Dr. Manhattan style. He is one with the Shake now. He is the mover and the shaker. Be gone. And he just like atomizes the entire mecha. He brings Sonic back to life. And he looks down at Styx and says, "We heard your plea. You are a good soul." And then the energy just leaves him and he's back to normal. He's like, "Man, I'm thirsty." Roll credits.
He does does Knuckles do the Sonic game glitch and just, or the Sonic Boom game glitch and just keeps ascending and ascending and ascending?
Yes, absolutely does.
He just keeps going up and up and up and up. There he goes. Oh, Purple Knuckles. He has risen forever. Oh man. Why don't we have Boom? This is the perfect Boom ball. Holy crap. Oh man. Grimace Knuckles. Oh, good stuff. Good stuff.
If I find free time, I might actually script that up and throw it out there, see if anybody wants to take a crack at it.
Yeah, that's great. That's awesome. We got so many good ones. We got Gordon Starline. We got Grimace Knuckles. Oh, man. Why not both indeed? All right, here's one from Fox to Fox. Given Sonic's prior experience with gemstones and other artifacts of indescribable power, Chaos Emeralds, World Rings, etc., barring universal limitations, could Sonic theoretically tap into the full power of Marvel's Infinity Stones? Could he even hold one?
Yeah, why not? Now he grabs it. There's a very dramatic pain and, swirly effects. And oh no, it's going to burn a hole through his hand. And then no, he rises to his feet and he's showing off the power of the stone. And then the rock music kicks in and he does all sorts of crazy cool stuff. That's Sonic. He's just broken.
He's too cool to be destroyed by something as simple as a magic rock. Doesn't matter what universe it's from. Is Sonic worthy, though? I don't know about that. Worthy to lift Mjolnir? I don't think so.
Debatable. But that's a different question.
Yeah. Depends on the incarnation. Amy is, though. Here's one from Happy Times. With Season 2 of Sonic Prime out, what were your thoughts on the newest robot duplicate, Chaos Sonic? And because some people have made comparisons, what do you think about the similarities and differences between him and Shard?
I understand the comparison, but it's a surface level one at best. Insofar as trash-talking robot Sonic, that's it. Shard was, in his original incarnation, is just Mega Sonic. What were they up to at that point? 3.0? I don't remember now.
Something like that.
Was a creation driven by arrogance who learned in the 11th hour the true meaning of personal strength and integrity and made the ultimate sacrifice to uphold a greater ideal. Shard himself was a ongoing redemption arc. Somebody given a second chance and who was terrified of screwing that up and hid that with the bravado and the snark. Chaos Sonic is antagonistic. That's it. That's all there is to him. So that's why I kind of shake my head at a comparison, because they aren't remotely the same character.
Yeah. Well, it makes sense. But I'm being asked, on his own, is he annoying or entertaining to you? Just follow up from Happy Times.
Like any other ongoing Sonic media right now, I don't think it's the best for me to weigh in critically one way or the other because it's going to get blown out of proportion. Point is, the voice team and the animation team put in a heck of a lot of work, and I've seen folks enjoying Chaos Sonic a lot, and that's what's important.
Alrighty. Here's a question from Icon PNG. Hey guys, I was wondering if you've seen any Sonic fan media you'd consider canon, though I guess the correct term is fanon. I personally like to believe Sonic and the Fallen Star and Triple Trouble 16-bit take place in the Sonic mythos. Greetings from Argentina. Hello.
Hey,
Argentina.
Cool. Again, given my position, there is no way I'm going to even make a friendly endorsement because that could have all sorts of problems down the road. And I abstain from fan material anyway, so
right.
I have to respectfully decline this one.
Yes. I don't necessarily think certain fan things can't take place in the actual Sonic canon. Why not? I mean, having Sonic and the Fallen Star happen, sure, could happen. It's not out of the realm of possibility. May not have an effect on anything else in the actual canon, but who cares? Big deal. If you want it to be your own headcanon, perfect. Awesome. Here's a question from Illegal Chow Fights. Oma Chow has many occupations such as anchorman, sports commentator, chef, racer, etc. He even has his own operating system called Chow OS, as seen on Tails Tube. This would make him one of the wealthiest Sonic characters. What does he do with all the money?
Cue Omo Chow saying, I'm supposed to be paid for this?
Cute Omo Chow saying, there's money in this universe?
Or, more wholesome answer, he does it all pro bono because he just likes being helpful.
It was a weird robot. Omo Chow should probably be in jail for medical malpractice, to be fair. Among other malpractices. Here's a question from John B. So, one of my favorite Sonic Boom episodes is Fire in a Crowded Workshop. I'm a sucker for the same event from multiple unreliable narrators and seeing how the characters behave differently based on the perceptions of said narrators. But due to the fact that the characters are telling the events to Tails in the episode, we never get to see how Tails behaves based on the other perceptions of him. How do you think Tails would behave in the heads of Sonic, Knuckles, and Amy?
Well, if we're speaking Boom universe specifically, we got to go for the comedy option. So for Sonic, he would see Tails or interpret Tails' actions as always kind of connected to him in some way. You know, technobabble, playing for Sonic. Technobabble, thing for Sonic. Technobabble, worry about Sonic. And just kind of does that, you know, Charlie Brown adult womp 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 until he hears the word Sonic in there.
Mm-hmm.
Amy sees him as a little bossy, a little I'm smarter than you, and it's pretty clear that she's kind of self-projecting onto that image just a little bit, and she doesn't get it. And Knuckles, there's so many punchlines to be had here. Like Knuckles could, let's see, option 1, Knuckles goes, who's Tails? Option 2, after establishing Sonic and then establishing Amy, it goes to Knuckles and it's just Sonic's thing again, just with Knuckles instead. Womp 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 Knuckles. Womp 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 Knuckles. Option 3, he sees Tails as just this absolute paragon of virtue and strength and intelligence, and is completely cowed by him. He worships the ground he walks on. He can do no wrong, and he is so intimidated by the sheer presence of Tails that he plays it completely cool around him all the time because he doesn't want to nerd out around him.
That one's the funniest.
All right, there we go. We'll lock that one in.
Or option 4, maybe he's thinking about Grimace Shakes. And we got one last question before we take a break. It's from Malene. You guys have done a lot of fun what-if character interactions, but I haven't seen any with the End. Say that in a last-ditch effort to survive and or not be blown up, the End tries to possess Sonic like it did with Supreme. However, due to his indomitable spirit and protagonist plot armor, he succeeds in keeping control. Thus, the End is once again stuck as a voice in his head. My question is, how would these two handle being mental roommates, or should I say, mind mates?
Sonic would be annoyed at first, because here you have this duo echoing voice being condescending about everything he does and everywhere he goes, and I will rise again and blah 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 blah, and he just kind of tunes it out.
Mm-hmm.
He focuses on what he's doing at the time. Maybe it makes it a little hard to sleep, but whatever. And everyone's a little worried for him. He's been through a lot on Starfall Islands. Maybe you should, I don't know, see a doctor. What kind of doctor treats this, honestly? Well, if you have any negative thoughts that you don't think are your own, talk to one of us. Yeah, I'll be fine. And then through, the adventures that follow, the End gets a whole new perspective of what it means to live and to triumph and to strive. And kind of comes around to the idea that maybe it was wrong all this time, or gains a new appreciation for Sonic. This individual mortal has more going on than it could have ever conceived a mortal could have going on. And if that's the case, maybe its perception of other mortal life was also askew. And so it finally shuts up and just kind of sits back and decides to watch life through the lens of Sonic for the rest of his days.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but then he meets Shadow and it all goes away. It's like, oh, never mind. Never mind. This species deserves to die.
I want to move into that one.
Oh, or
grab
that.
his hand. I will pack my things.
Oh, okay.
Nah, you really don't want to get in there. Trust me. Headspace may be a little empty, but it's full of baggage. What are you even talking about? Giant space god moon in my head.
Yeah. That's just Tuesday for Sonic.
Rarely do I understand what you're talking about.
Yeah. Likewise. All right. Well, let's take a quick break, and we'll come back with more on the BumbleKast. All right, we're back, and we got a question from Miles Per Hour Davis. Always viewed Silver as like the Sonic of the future. If Sonic is like the chosen one, or however the Chaos Energy is harnessed, then Silver is the next we know about. But Silver is from Blaze's universe, but he can use the Chaos Emeralds? Or is he? Not sure his powers are explained. Thank you for explaining, if you can.
Okay, so Silver is from Sonic's future. Earth circa 200 years from now. And his incredible psychic powers and his ability to tap into the Chaos Emeralds for chaos control and all the other stuff is not explained. He can do that because he is a protagonist.
Mm-hmm.
That's it.
He is a male hedgehog protagonist, specifically.
Yeah, there you go. And Blaze is a whole other story. She's from her own dimension, blah, blah, blah. You could draw parallels between heroes across the ages, saying that Silver is analogous to Sonic, but there is so little actual story in the 200 years later epoch that it's kind of hard to say. Like, he has no personal rival or antagonist or supporting cast. He's kind of relegated to Sonic's extended cast.
Mm-hmm.
So if there was more to Sonic, like if there was more to Silver, if he had his own proper spin-off franchise going on, then I think we would have more to discuss. But right now, it's just kind of like he's one of Sonic's buddies, and that's about it right now.
Well, you can always headcanon the Silver stories from Archie as canon for now. Maybe someday something along those lines will be officially established. But yeah. Anyway, here's a question from Mobius. How would you handle doing a Mega Man Battle Network comic? Would you keep the Lan and Mega Man hub brother relation like the games? And would you follow the games or go a different route like what the anime did?
I would take the games as the foundation first and foremost.
Right.
There's so much more narrative there that I don't know if a straight adaptation would really be possible without doing a disservice to the story. I'm not super familiar with the Battle Network story. Maybe it is paced out in such a way that you could translate it to comic fairly easily, but it might have been better to tell in-between stories, focus on the supporting cast and their net navies and explore different aspects of the net and be an ancillary story that is following what the games present. So that would be, it would either be a faithful retelling with, structural tweaks for the sake of the form, the medium, or a companion piece that investigates things that the games couldn't get to in their runtime.
Alrighty. Here's a question from Morless. Dear Ian, how's it going?
It's going all right. I'm going all right. Hope you're doing well.
I was wondering if there might be any plans for adding non-binary characters to the comics or games. And if you can't say, has there been any discussion on that front? I'd really like to see that kind of representation added to the Sonic series.
No immediate plans that I am aware of. I know there has been some talk in that kind of general sense of broader representation, but I don't know how far along they got or if they're in the works. So I don't really want to speak to that because I don't want to undercut anybody. But I mean, I'd be fine with it myself if it suited the character and the situation.
Sure. Yeah. Wouldn't be that difficult. Here's a question from Mixer17. Sega's decided that you get to pick 3 family members of any of the core games cast to be allowed to bring back in the comics and possibly games. They can be from any previous Sonic media, and you can give them any sort of revamp or rewrite to fit better in the context of the games or comics from their source materials. And just for funsies, you also get to pick 3 characters' family members who haven't been seen, but we know that they have to exist, like whichever one of Snively's parents had to be Eggman's sibling, and show your idea for what you imagine them looking like. Parents and Sonia and Manic get to count as one person since they're pretty tied together. So what 3 members are you deciding to show your idea on what they look like, and what 2 family members are you bringing back to go along with Uncle Chuck? And if Uncle Chuck isn't one of your choices, explain your bad life decisions. I'm an unapologetic Uncle Chuck supremacist.
See, because we've been talking about it on the show most recently, and my own personal take on how to revamp Polly and, I always do this, Brenda. There we go. Polly and Brenda. I'm kind of inclined to go that route, but I mean, you bring up a good point with Uncle Chuck.
Yeah.
I mean, you can probably achieve the same things narratively and character-wise with Chuck as you could with Polly and Brenda combined. So
you gotta have Chuck, man.
Yeah.
You can't just chuck him out.
There is some desire for Sonia and Manic, if nothing else, to throw the Underground fans a bone.
Mm-hmm.
And they could be fun additions to the series. It kind of overloads us with hedgehogs, but we already have that problem already. What's 2 more?
I was going to say, all right, overloads us with hedgehogs. Please, Sega's been doing that for 20 years.
Not that I would want to necessarily see Rob of the Hedge himself, but maybe explore Amy's family a little bit.
Mm-hmm.
Give her a little something more in her wheelhouse.
Speaking of overloading us with hedgehogs.
Well, yeah.
I know.
I wouldn't want to bring in Tails' parents, because I feel like that's low-hanging fruit. Yeah. There's only one story to tell with that, really. And that one doesn't excite me. On the other hand, I want to know what happened to Cream's father. Where is he? What happened? What is the deal there? So
Uncle
Chuck.
He went out to get a gallon of milk and never came home.
Don't you do that. No, sir.
Or
he did go out for a gallon of milk and he got jumped by a motobug, okay? It's not his fault. He's a good dad. She deserves a good dad.
Or maybe she was just immaculately conceived. Maybe. Also, Blaze is a princess. She has not ascended to empress. So where is the sole emperor and or empress? Where are her parents? What are they doing? What are they up to? Blaze may be a princess, but she will always be a queen to me.
So Uncle Chuck, Cream's dad, and what's going on with the emperor and empress of the Soul Empire? I guess that would be my picks.
Alrighty. Let's move on to this question from Noni. I can't think of any good questions. What's the largest animal you guys think you could take in a fight?
Most insects.
Most? Maybe not those giant spiders from the Middle East, huh?
No. We're talking like Japanese hornets? Absolutely not.
No. I think
if I have the initiative, maybe, but...
I'm being told spiders aren't insects. Yeah, but they're insected. They're insect adjacent.
Yeah. Now, by take, you mean be the ultimate victor and survive?
Yeah.
Like, we're not talking how much damage you take. I'd say most small mammals and birds. I think I could handle a duck. Maybe
could you?
Goose.
Could you handle a duck?
Maybe.
Ducks are pretty. Ducks are pretty.
Again, I'm specifying.
Brutal.
It doesn't matter how damaged I am. I'm the last one standing. That's the specification.
Could Ian take a coyote? I don't know. No,
absolutely not.
I couldn't.
Are you kidding?
I couldn't take a coyote. I mean, they tend to hunt in packs, so if one is there, then that means there's others around.
Coyotes don't really do the pack thing traditionally. That's more wolves. Coyotes can sometimes like pair up, but
that's true. Yeah, They don't have full on I guess packs, but yeah, they do kind of at least go around together.
If a coyote is hungry and desperate enough to come at me, I'm doomed.
Yeah, they're more
the entree.
Yeah, they're more scavengers than hunters. So yeah, be the roadrunner, Ian. You couldn't. I don't know. I don't think I could take a roadrunner in a fight. It's too fast. It would run away. It's like, yeah, fine, run.
Makes me think of those arguments of like who would win in a fight, a gorilla or a man specifically trained to fight a gorilla. And it's like, number one, that question is stupid. Number two, the gorilla.
Yeah. Yes, obviously. Trained to fight a gorilla.
How do you outweigh you by 50 pounds and it has fangs the size of your forearm? They are built to kill you. No, you ain't winning against a gorilla.
What
if you're specially trained since birth? Shut up.
How do you even train to fight a gorilla? Are you Batman?
There's a certain degree of sheltered arrogance in those arguments. It's like, no. If you come into this thinking, oh yeah, I can totally take a chimpanzee, you are ground chuck waiting to be minced.
Yeah, yes. Any apes, monkeys, anything like that, you are, yeah. You're done, son. You're done. You might be able to take on a chimpanzee, but you would lose. Yeah. No. No. Relax Toady has a question. What makes you like Sonic and still hang with the series/franchise as the age you are now, other than the money? For me personally, it's the optimism of the characters in the story. Sometimes I feel weird being 23 and being a fan of the Sonic franchise, having statues and little pieces of merchandise. I feel I have to hide my appreciation from others like it's some weird thing, or I need to be careful not to share too much on the internet about Sonic. Only allowed to share when a game releases or movies come out, scared that I could be deemed too childish and undateable by others.
Well, hey, I'm 41, man.
And I'm 37.
I know where you're coming from. And part of that comes from what group you're in. Like, you appreciate Sonic. It's something you enjoy. It's no more childish or outlandish than Star Wars or Harry Potter or any of that. It's fantasy. It's just a different flavor. So
Marvel comics and movies.
if you come across someone who kind of goes, oh, you're a fan of that, then it ain't worth your time. Enjoy what you want to enjoy.
Yeah.
As for why I'm still here, I still find it exciting. I still get excited by the idea of Sonic stories and seeing where the characters might go and what adventures they might have. And the position I'm in now, seeing the projects that are coming along, gets me even more excited because I know what's coming. It's like, oh, that's going to be cool. And I get to have a bit of a hand in that. That's cool too. So I don't, it brings me joy. Simple as that.
I just like the characters. I miss a bunch of ones that we'll probably never see again. So that's really what it is for me. Also, I'm just a classic Sonic guy at heart, you know? If I need to test a game on anything, if I need to test something, I'm like loading up Sonic. It's pretty much how it goes. Like always choosing a Sonic game. So I don't know. I just love that little blue guy, you know? I make fun of him. I joke about him. But, you know, all comes down to it. I still love him. All right, here's a question from Rock a Million. Why did Merlin Prower never return after leaving in issue 187? How did you have more plans for him, or did you just forget about him?
The plan, from what I remember, was to make him one of the Neo Walkers. 3 characters to replace the Ancient Walkers as divine custodians of the Chaos Force. And somewhere in my filing cabinet, buried amongst other papers, are the concept sketches of the Neo Walkers and how their characters are redefined as kind of like masks. I can envision how I had Merlin as a mask, and they would be benevolent sex machinas when you needed them. And who was it? It was Merlin, and I think Aether, and I think Aurora, having descended a level to become more in touch with mortal goings on. That sounds familiar. I could be wrong because we never actually got there. That was like a long-term plan, which I guess technically should have gone and lost Hedgehog Tales. Oh well. But that was the greater plan. We never got there.
Yeah. All right.
Now there's a question for you, Kyle.
Yep, I see that.
This one comes from Saving Throws. So, Kyle, forgive me for assuming, but you seem to be the kind of guy who would. Do you have a favorite nu metal band or album? Or even an industrial metal band? And for those youngins listening at home, that's spelled N-U, not N-E-W. It's cool, okay?
It's cool in a very goofy way, yes.
It's cool in a new and exciting way.
Very new and exciting. Wee. Nu metal is fun. It's it's really just, in a lot of ways, it's kind of goofy. Like, especially like the early stuff from the late 90s going into the 2000s, where it was like just becoming kind of mainstream, and yeah, it gets real goofy there. It's like, all right, calm down. You're not as hardcore as you think you are. I mean, I do enjoy some of the bands from that era for sure. I mean, System of a Down, they're still very good. Like, in terms of bands, I'd say they're like a cut above nu metal even. They're lumped in with that, but they're like more than that. So they're definitely really good. Industrial, I mean, I do enjoy Nine Inch Nails quite a lot. Trent Reznor is great. Also don't mind some KMFDM stuff. And also, I do like, who is it? Cell Dweller. There we go. Yeah. Slightly more obscure, but pretty cool. I remember playing some Cell Dweller stuff in, I think it was Flash Revolution, which was just a Flash version of DDR. And I also have like a soft spot and a bit of nostalgia for Gravity Kills' first album. I mean, it's terrible, but it's terrible in a enjoyable way. So, and it also just, I also have a lot of nostalgia for it because it was the soundtrack for the video game Test Drive Off-Road, game where you drive big trucks around off-road. So, of course, I'm into it. So, I mean, there's plenty of great new metal and industrial bands that I enjoy, for sure. Do you have any, Ian, that you have liked in the past or still like?
See, I don't know what those qualifiers are, so I was kind of waiting for you to answer. So I go, oh, yeah, of course. I know of these musical genres. I, too, partake in the listening of things.
Oh, do you? Do you?
Yes,
yes. I did need to actually remind myself exactly what qualifies as new metal and industrial. I will not lie. So, the lines are a little blurry sometimes. So, did you have any?
I am honestly not familiar enough with the distinctions and what was even playing at the time. I'm so bad with musical trivia.
That's okay. I mean, I've not mentioned Linkin Park. Linkin Park is like the big one. Linkin Park is great. They're new metal. They're new metal. Yeah. They kind of fall. They fall under that sort of purview. They're not like, I don't know though. They don't feel as new metal-y as like Limp Bizkit. Limp Bizkit is like pure distilled new metal. That's the goofy stuff right there.
So, like, where do you draw the line between grunge and new metal?
More rap elements in new metal.
Okay.
Yeah. Generally, not always. Like Disturbed doesn't have a lot of rap elements, but Limp Bizkit definitely does. Korn, sorta. Korn is like the original new metal band in a way. I don't know. It's just a kind of a weird mishmash of genres, but yeah, it's like some of the stuff is like, oh, it's very pop centric, and others is like, okay, this is weird. So Evanescence rules, by the way, just putting that out there.
Yeah, what they're on the where do they fall on that?
They're new metal. It's just,
okay,
they're just like they have a good presentation. They have a very creative presentation compared to other new metal bands. And Amy Lee is just like super powered. Her voice is insane.
See, this is why I don't weigh on it, because you say Korn and Evanescence kind of count as the same thing, and I'm like,
I know, it's weird. I know it's weird, but you know.
And like most of these bands you've named off, I'm like, oh yeah, they were a thing.
Yep. In a lot of ways,
Kyle is the guy for the music, not me.
In a lot of ways, they still are a thing. For many of them, they're still around. You know, it's like finding out that Journey is still touring currently. It's like, all right, well, it's been like 50 years. Oh. You can't kill the metal. The metal will live on. It's true. It's true. So yeah, hope that gives you some idea. I hope that works for you. Here's one from Scourge Time. How would 9 from Sonic Prime and Miles, Anti-Tails, interact with each other if they met?
Badly.
Poorly, I was going to say.
Like, the level of condescension between the two of them might create a singularity. Like, if they can get over themselves and kind of get some context for each other, the drive to fend for oneself and look out for number one would be appreciated between the two of them. And if they can get that far, I think they could mutually agree to stay out of each other's way.
Maybe. All right, we got a question from Scurvy Pirate Dog. We know that Surge really, really, really hates Sonic, but there's another guy that also really hates Sonic, Eggman. So, just for funsies, what if Surge then decided to become best buds with Eggman? Not Eggman's lackey, not Eggman's henchman that he can command around, but simply being best buds with Eggman, whether Eggman wants it or not.
Well, here's the thing. If there is anybody second place in her hatred heart to Sonic, it's Eggman.
Yes, I was going to say.
She hates him. I thought not equally as much, then almost as much.
I thought Sonic was number 2 and Starline was number 1, technically, in her head.
Well, Starline isn't really a factor anymore.
Well, I mean,
still around, yeah, sure, but
you tell her that. I mean, he still haunts her in her mind. He won't go away.
But she can't do anything to him. And even then, like when everything was going down, she prioritized taking Sonic out first and foremost. Like she could have she could have betrayed Starline at any given moment. She could have offed Eggman when she had the chance, but Sonic came first. And once she gets past that single-mindedness, then the other two would be in serious trouble. So, if we're talking like canonically, no, she would never remotely think of being besties with Eggman for any reason. She wants to toss him in a wood chipper and laugh the entire time. Now, for the sake of your question, though, if she wanted to be besties with Eggman just to troll Sonic, then she would make a point of hanging around, whatever egg base he's occupying and just act like they're good friends, regardless of the retaliation he launches in her way, until eventually he realizes he's wasting ordnance trying to bomb her. She's not doing anything destructive on his property. And if Sonic happens to come within 30 miles, she kicks his face in. So, you know what? She's tolerable. He doesn't have to like her, but she's not causing problems, so fine. She can stay.
Does Eggman even like anybody? You say he doesn't have to like. Okay, well, all right. Other than her,
that's a very new addition.
Yeah. Does he even have to like? Does he like anybody other than Sage and himself? Yeah, there we go.
Not especially.
No.
Gerald. He holds Gerald in high esteem.
Yeah, till he realizes.
Posthumously.
Yes. Then does he think that everyone the stuff that says he was trying to be a good guy is all wrong? He's got his ideal of Gerald versus the actual Gerald. I'm guessing that's what he holds in high regard.
No. Gerald was an extremely accomplished scientist in multiple disciplines. He holds him in high regard.
Right.
He doesn't necessarily have to agree with the earlier altruistic goals and ambitions.
Okay.
Because in the end, he was a mad scientist who tried to blow them all up anyway. That mad scientist.
He's not mad, he's a genius.
In this scenario, it's not about the journey, it's the destination.
Okay. All right. Here's a question from The Might of Gibora. Are the material, stories, and adventures shown in the Sonic channel canon? And I don't mean alternate universes, but the same universe as mainline Sonic. I've asked a similar question by many, but I wanted to be sure. The new Isekai Ogiri story thing confused me.
As far as I am aware, they're being treated as canon. Like the recent story where Sonic was going around the world gathering up the Chaos Emeralds. That's somewhere in the modern timeline. The Isekai stuff, the framing device is Eggman made an oopsie, and now we're kind of going through a Sonic Prime-esque situation where all these funny what-ifs happen. And I'm sure they're going to tie a bow on at the end and everything goes back to normal just so you can say, oh, it happened, but it didn't impact anything. Don't worry too much about it. It's just for funsies.
Yeah, but I would like for some of them to be canon. That would be fun.
I mean, I don't know how it's all going to go. I'm not part of that department or that process. So for all I know, they'll leave it open-ended.
Make Magical
I could be wrong. We'll all find out together.
Make Magical Girl Blaze real. Do it, Ian.
Hey, I want Iwakawa's style at least to be real. Let that be the standard, please.
Yes, please.
Not default Blender model number 5.
With a custom dress on it, maybe. A slightly custom dress. It wasn't even Blender. Blender didn't exist back then. Come on, man.
Oh, was it Poser models? I don't remember what it was.
Yeah, I forget. It might have been Poser. Either way, it was like very much just like, yeah. It might not have been intended to be the final versions, though. Oy. Turbo R has a question. Can you explain why there are 2 different origins for the Chaos Emeralds in the Archie comics? In Tales miniseries number 3, it says they come from space, along with future issues, but the robot Isaac says they're irradiated barrels from the gene bomb by the Zorda. Can you explain?
The Zorda are from space. The gene bomb was from space. It irradiated the barrel, and therefore the effect came from space.
Neat.
Also, Tales number 3 was like mystically produced visions, not very concrete. And Isaac was an ancient robot that was somewhat haywire. So even his facts were a little sketchy.
The irony is that 25 years later, in real life, not in Mobius life, the emeralds actually are from space.
Yeah, never saw that coming.
Whoops. Here's a question from Twilord. If Shadow let him, how would his relationship with an anti-style Black Doom develop? Bright Hope, Bright Asteroid, Bright Hands, Life Puppies?
The same way he lets anyone into his life, which is to say nobody. I mean, it doesn't matter if anti-Black Doom is the Messiah, the bringer of rainbows and sunshine. Shadow is still not going to give him the time of the day because he's all shut off and angst muffin.
Because he's Shadow. And he will never not be that, unfortunately. Oh, well. We got one last question from Windstar Osprey. Just reread the Sonic Universe issue where the Chaotix help the Mercian freedom fighters rescue people from Mordred Hood. 47, I think. But when I saw him dodge an arrow from Bo, he stretched his contorted neck in a way that made him look like he didn't have arms. Now I gotta know, was Mordred a proper Naga-styled snake anthro with arms and a human-esque torso, and a snake tail for a lower half, or was he just a full-on sentient serpent in a metal suit?
I think we were still going by the one standard that was set with the original Freedom Fighter story, so that Mobian snakes had arms.
Yeah.
And the idea was that in his legionized body, or cyberized, what was the term we used? In his robot body, I don't remember if it was supposed to be that the robot arms were covering real arms, or if he was just full on replaced. And, the snaky bit tail was just threaded through the main chassis. As for the art that you are referencing itself, it's just Hood cartoonishly kind of stretching to dodge the shot. It's not him exiting the body at all. It's just him warping to the extreme for the visual effect.
He is not having an out-of-body experience.
Oh! Oh! Well played, sir. Well played.
Just like this list of names will be well played.
And this is our last regular episode of the month, so it's time to give a big old thank you to all our patrons over at patreon.com/BumbleKast, Ko-fi.com/BumbleKast, and our YouTube members. Big thank you to Daniel H., Jennifer R., James K., John B., Robotnik Home, Sam Cybercat, Samuel P., Torchbound, Andrew D., Mike B., Salucha Cat, Dave M., Noni J., Frost, Coupling Crew 128, Duas Dizdin, Hero of Light 13, Professor Scruffy Matt, Chris A., Sony, Scurvy Pirate Hog, Arc Fighter, Ben Wolfsbane, John M., Triforce Riku, Sonic, Twilord, Chaos Sonic 1, Jib, Lisa M., Lee HK, Ink Think, Stardust Spectre, Chevelle, Tick Tick, Mixer 17, Axis, Starlight Sec, Mismatch Moogle, Z Broadcast, Joshua S., Cameron H., H, Jolene B, Jonathan D, The Disgayan, Solaire Stain, Godzilla, Nondle, Dominic the Raccoon, Ava Arctic, Dove, Alex KR, Justin Mountain Soul, Jay the Redneck, Yuma221, Hannah W, V Nuss, Jennifer H, Justin S, Angela V, Alphamon or Yukon, Dadler the Dalek, Jack the Animator, Sonic Legacy, Tetsuya the Wise, Les, Wildcard 717, Indabin, Daniel B, Red the Supernamic, Chad of the Stars, Ginzel, Sandra BH, and Tails, Wheelie Doe, Thievius, Sammy S, Puppy the Scholar, Illegal Chow Fights, Miles the Prower, Navarre, Exidel, Agent Kaz, Darusivals, 4 Sonic Fan, Rhythm and Tempo, The Marble Gardener, Morless, E200 Paragon, Pig Dan, Preston M, Rocco D, Ozjam, Shimmy M, Curly Quills, Noah M, Gojira Highwind, Awesome Cakester, Smiley21, Supersonic Fan, Radry Chase, L, Philip is Cold, Sterling Sonic, Congo, Windskull, Supernova, Superior Pizza, Sonic Patch, Ty H, Sonic 84, Thickoff, Planet Breezy, Hearts 13, Omega Man 21, Nils, Unity, Jason G, In Zephyr, Amazing, Miss Nizumi, SB, My Fish Eats Rocks, The ID Card, Jonathan F, Hip Kid Brick, Levi C, Subliminal, Gino the Puppet, T Ranger, Samuth S, Miggy Sawdust, Adrian W, Vlad, Knuckles Sandwich 87, Lemur Chicken, Sheen, Fang, Glitchiest, M Bluet, Cool Christy 1, Ashter, Luke R, Michael P, Jada, Alejandro 333777, Loose, Noah I, Trocon H, Blahaj Blast, The Phantomist, OK Cheesesteak, Lacey M, William M, Lucky Lychee, Spiral, Silver Moon 21K, Pit Viper, Icy Wolf, North Soul 15, Relaxed Hoodie, and Native Nerd 27, all Peachy Ultra Guy, Noob 600, Crowbo, Angel Fox Kitsune, Zeto V, Sonic Mania 2099, Hadronus, Raccoon Shinobi, Normal Person, Marcy H, Caswell, Mr. Murderbird, The Giant Murdering Bird, _Turtle Tuck, Widemo, Chuka S.A., Gideon W., Boy King Elias, Pei Lee, Jihan S., Snow Pear, Lovo M., The Man of Multimedia, Foofy 93, Mr. Stimpy Kazi, Rosavoli, Icon PNG, Zex Soul Dice, Florian, Call Me Ryan, Onion Girl, Candy B, Cat Van Bryan, and Trevor. Followed by Michael D, another Michael D, Jamal M, Jamal S, Wheels 282 Hedgehog, Metamode, Frost the Hobbadon, Danny the Light, Butter Noodles, Miles Power D, L Technopada, True Cosmic Digilab 79, Hero Squad, Kaizen Amen, Woods, Quentin D, Happy Times, Lucio X 30, Missile the Sandcat, Scourge Time, Sprites Forever, Steph Cube, TV Guru, Rare Dragon 5, Zenimax, Alex Arts Here, Dandy Kaiju, Sonic Man, Twilord's 3-year-old niece, Crab, Just Some Dude 7, Phyllis, Rakayans, Trainmaster 9977, Fox the Fox, Mobius, Saving Throws, and finally, the Might of Gabura.
For real? For real? That's all?
For real.
That's all of them?
That's all.
Okay, good.
That's all a lie. We'll see how big the list is when we come back around in August.
All right. Well, I wasn't recording. Do it again.
Oh, God!
I'm kidding.
We're sorry. The Ian you're trying to reach right now is unavailable. Please leave a message at the tone.
It's not even that many names more than it has been, actually, honestly.
It's still over 230. That's plenty.
I know. It's over 235 even.
That's going to wrap us up for this episode of the BumbleKast. Be good to yourselves. Be good to each other. And we will see you next time on the next BumbleKast.
Next time, Gadget. Next time. All right.
You're just trying to bait me into doing the Dr. Claw laugh.
Yeah, I mean, it didn't work, but I tried. There we go. Next time on BumbleKast Z. He eats kids. Ian eats kids. Delicious.
Give me baby back ribs. Give me baby back ribs. Barbecue sauce.
Literal babies. Blink twice if I'm in danger. I know I'm well beyond being a child. I don't think I have to worry too much.
Kyle's ribs are like a fine wine, aged to perfection.
My ribs, I would
have them with some fava beans and a nice Chianti.
Oh, my ribs are, I don't know. There's just probably something wrong with them. I wouldn't do that. I'm well marbled, very marbled, extremely marbled. Anyway, let's see. Oh, you good?
Just knocking things over.
Okay, that's fine. Knock them all over.
And throwing my shoulder out. That hurts like the dickens.
You don't need that.
Okay.
You don't need that shoulder, do you?
Oh,
You all right?
I really don't wish I had it right now. Yeah.
Yeah.
That's just going to hurt for the rest of the night. Great. Lovely. Let's power on through.
All right. Here's a question from Morless. Dear Ian, how's it going? It's not going at all. All right.
Well, I wasn't going to interrupt you because you skipped Mobius's question, but...
Oh, I did.
Then you get hang of there, so...
Okay, that was funnier that way. Okay, then let's go back. Let's rewind. It's funny because I literally had my cursor on Mobius's question. Boy.
I know, I see it.
Boy, aren't I smart? I'm not. Anyway. I took 3 milligrams of melatonin at midnight last night, and it's still...
Not hit.
No, it has. That's the thing. Me and melatonin, like, it hits me good. Also, maybe the fact that I haven't, like, slept in...
No, I think that one phrase summed it up. It hits me good.
Yeah.
I mean, when you start turning in to Christopher Walken, I know it's a pretty heavy dose. It needs more cowbell.
It's 3 milligrams. You think it wouldn't be hardly anything?
Hey,
I know some people...
You never know what this stuff does to people.
Some people take 12 and they can't even... It doesn't even do anything for them. Meanwhile, I take 3 and it's like...
Metabolize differently.
Oi. You've been listening to the BumbleKast, a co-production of Bumble King Comics and the KNGI Network. Original theme music composed by Ken Coda Snyder. Remixed intro by T-Lopes. Find out more information, along with podcast feeder links, MP3 downloads, and more at bumbleking.com and kngi.org. Starline Freeman.
Rise and shine, Dr. Eggman. Rise and shine. Not to imply that you've been sleeping on the charm. No genius is more worthy of a rest than you.
Wait a minute.
The right despot in the wrong time can make all the difference in the world. Wake up, Dr. Eggman. Wake up and smell the hummus.
Okay. Well, okay. Starline is Gordon or Starline is G-Man? Why not both?
G-Man's way more fitting and entertaining.
Yes, it fits, but I mean, either one. Do
you think Ross Scott would be pissed off if I did do a Starline mind?
No, I don't think so. He seemed to enjoy that one, what is it? Freeman's Mind Animated. I don't know if you've seen it, Ian.
No.
It's a 3D animated one that's, oh shoot, what bit was it? Let me look it up.
Oh, is it? Wait, it's the one where he's like fighting the military?
Yeah.
Maybe I did see that.
God, it's hilarious. I mean, the original bit is hilarious too, but the animation is glorious. It's just extremely well done.
Yeah,
Modern Major General singing Modern Major General.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, it's
God. Did you see the last one he did for Half-Life 2 where where he meets Father Gario?
Uh-huh.
It's just the bit where Father Gregory says, "Behind you," and he turns around and then goes, "Wait, I fell for the oldest trick in the book. He could have shot me in the back of the head. I'm an idiot." I'm freaking dying. Just, oh my God. Rationalizing it as it's some kind of like game show that Gregory is putting together and he's just going through the test run.
The whole Ravenholm thing has been absolutely hilarious. which is
And
funny.
I love it because I was expecting him to be horrified because I remember like tiptoeing through Ravenholm.
Yeah.
Like that was traumatizing.
Uh-huh.
Like, oh man, his faux fear is going to be delicious. But no, this Freeman has lived through Zen.
Yeah.
Ravenholm is small potatoes, so of course he's just kind of waltzing through all the carnage as if it were nothing.
That's what makes it funnier.
Yeah, absolutely.
That makes it
no
better.
Notes.
It makes it better. It's like, yes, please, thank you. Oh man, yeah, that's absolutely perfect. It's like this. I mean, he's been going through these whole 2 games, just kind of gallivanting his way through. To be fair, so it makes sense he'd keep
the
that
smartest
going.
man in the room. Smartest man in the room with an ego to match.
Yeah.
Oh, it's good stuff.
Oh, he's fantastic. God, I love it. Love it so much. Freeman's Mind. You watch it if you haven't. Please do yourself a favor. Go check out Ross Scott. Funny stuff.